All right, so FOMC day today, and you can see the SPY actually ran up and then right back down. You know, FOMC days are not my favorite. In last night's video, I put out an offer to return to our lifetime membership back at our 2004 prices and said the first 5 people. Well, I got flooded with requests, so we got a bunch of new faces in chat. I went ahead and just had to pull the limit of 5 thing, and I just went ahead and set it up for everybody that wanted it. And then I put the link, I just went ahead and tweeted it. So in the description below, I'm just going to go ahead and the only thing in the description below is going to be that link. All right, we're going to give everybody that didn't get another chance. I think a lot of people just figured they weren't going to be in the first 5. So right below in the description, link to the 2004. That's the year I started GreatStockPicks.com, and we used to offer a lifetime membership. Haven't offered that for a while. Certainly not at this price. So the link to that offer is going to be in the description below. I'm going to show you an example. By the way, it was nice to see all the new faces in chat today. I'm going to show you an example of a setup that I called in chat today. And there's a timestamp, 11:08. I called CEI 114 trigger, 107 stop. And I was looking at it over this flag. You can see these are 5-minute candles. And the reason was this was yesterday afternoon. All right, so it's a low float energy play. Oil was running. This had this, it's like 2 million or something in the float, at least when I checked on, I think, Finviz. So it had this big pop for a cheap stock that had a tiny float, right? Then this morning, there's the opening 5-minute candle right there today. So what happens is it sells off a little bit, and then it pops. And right here, when it takes out the highs, it's almost never a good time when you get a high of day break, but it's just come from low of day to get there. A lot of people think, oh, high of day, it's going to rip. It's never a good time to jump in. But what I did do was then I really started watching it, and then it put in this flag. And that's when I put out that post. 114 is just a flag break with yesterday's high as a potential secondary catalyst, right? We always want to take trades with catalysts above, or potential catalysts above. So that's why 114. And again, if you study my videos, the one thing that's really important to me is to be green right away. So I try to find setups that have that kind of inflection point setup. It's a recent high flyer, just like CEI was yesterday afternoon, preferably low float. And so look at what happens right after the entry. Look at that move. Immediately, I mean, almost within 5 or 10 minutes, we get through yesterday's high, and we're just scaling out into that move. This is what we look for. Every trade I take is designed to be something like this that should work right away. All right. So there's an example, a real live example from chat today. I'll give you another example of a different kind of trade I called. I called Apple today, and these are the daily candles. So you can't see the green line isn't the 50-day. I'll bring over. I always have a small version of my daily chart up. So when I'm looking at a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, I also can glance at this thing. I had to slide it over and look at the daily. So this orange line is the 50-day. All right, so just so you can see what I'm looking at there. So this was getting intraday shape. What I mean by that is it's already grinding lower all day, and then gets this volume move to the downside, and it was pushing down right in this area through the 50-day that I just showed you. Switching back to the daily, I don't call these reversal plays that often, by the way, but also switching back to the daily, it was taking out these early March lows, but it had come a long way to get there. Let's couple that with a hit. Let me go to 5s again. Couple that with the fact that it was hitting, and you can see it closed weak, but it was hitting the 50-day. I called this on a 1-minute buy setup, which ended up being 171.62, probably right about there, and it was on the way back up, not on the way down. And it ended up going up about $1 from there, which you could argue isn't great on an Apple, but it was never underwater again. It's another one of those that worked right away. And again, a rare reversal call, but just to show you, we'll trade anything from a dollar stock, to Apple and occasionally Tesla, but I generally focus on the low-priced, low-flow stocks because that's where I make my money. All right, so there's a couple examples from today. Here's what I'm watching for tomorrow. AQMS, it had this big pop back here, and it's really straight sideways, but it's getting these little volume spikes. I really like it over the recent highs, so we're going to keep our eyes on that one. T-Rove, T-R-O-V. I like this. You had a high back here, kind of almost an equal top, and then it breaks out on really big volume. Comes back down, holds support, tries to break out again here, topping out at 46 cents, and then today topping out at 43.5 cents. If I go to 5-minute candles, had really big volume coming here, although this one right here is a little spooky. But I certainly like the daily here. All right, you can kind of picture a flag. I'm not going to draw the line, but from here to here, this one might just break out. Doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. TELL, very much like a bottoming daily candle today. Big volume, and if you look at the intraday, had most of its volume right at the end of the day on news. So this one might catch some shorts off guard here as it was pushing to new lows this morning, then closing at its highs on good volume. We'll watch that one. I am actually going to watch Apple tomorrow for a bounce, by the way. It's down, what, like 6-7 days in a row from a high of 183.50. I kind of like to see it flush a whole number 170, but we'll see. It certainly goes on bounce watch. It's oversold in the short term, and it's Apple, right? Seed had this big pop, and now it's like 4 days lower on declining volume. It's getting close to a round trip, though. When I look for a bounce play after a strong move, I kind of want to see a partial retrace, and we're getting too close to a round trip to make me love this anymore, but the whole number $1 might come into play tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see if it gives a setup. I had it on watch for today and gave no kind of setup whatsoever. AMTX, another strong move, and a few days lower on declining volume, so it goes on bounce watch tomorrow. Had that one on watch today. No trigger, no trade. It gave no setup. RXII, kind of the same thing. Huge move, few days lower. This one's coming down into what we call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20. Goes on bounce watch. It was on watch today. Gave no setup, so we didn't trade it. Very similar chart here. SMRT had this huge move and nothing but lower highs on the daily since then and declining volume. Not in love with it, but we'll see. See if it gives us a setup. CCIH got a big volume spike today. If I go to intraday, you'll be able to see. Look at that massive volume spike. Looked like it was rolling over. Then closed kind of strong. So we're going to look for maybe a red to green tomorrow, and then maybe we can get up through $1.55. This thing, as you can see here and here, it can make big moves, so I definitely want to watch that. And lastly, I'm going to watch GSVC. I talked about this. I think Dropbox goes public tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you've got the beginning of next month, which is a couple weeks away, Spotify. And this company has a stake in both of those. So if those IPOs go crazy, one way to play it would be GSVC. It's kind of flagging here on the daily. So if we can get over new recent highs, which is be like over 940-ish, especially if Dropbox is going crazy, or Spotify when that comes up. So anyway, I think this is just worth having on a chart. I actually had this on a chart today and never took a trade in it. So we're going to watch that one tomorrow. We'll look for some gappers in the morning to add to this list. Teamwork in chat is fantastic as always. Again, welcome to all the new faces and hope to see some more new faces tomorrow. Check out that description below. We're going to bring back for one more video here the 2004 lifetime membership price. You won't believe the deal when you click on it. All right, I'm done babbling. See you guys tomorrow.